What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. Hey, I'm here. So the Real Housewives of Atlanta are back, y'all. I'm not sure how I feel. I'm not sure how I feel. Did I enjoy the show? I did. It was definitely entertaining. I'm gonna start there. Listen, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We aren't gonna waste a whole lot of time with the formalities. Let's get on into the thing. So show your girl some support. I really appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We're going to be here for the whole season. It's season 17. It was episode 1 and I'm not sure how I feel. I'm not sure how I should view this, season. I'm not going to review it as a reality TV because there's nothing real going on over here and we can go ahead and get that out the gate. Bravo has come over here and let Porsha pretend to be whatever it is she's supposed to be, the queen of Thoughtlandia. And yeah, there's a lot of, fugazi things going on over here. So we're going to act like, is it just me? Some of these housewives, Atlanta and Beverly Hills, they stand out the most because a lot of them come with fake storylines. But I feel like when I get to Atlanta and to Beverly Hills, there's a lot of acting going on. So if we're going to be over here acting, then I'm going to view it as that because I can't enjoy it any other way, over here pretending. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to critique the acting that happens over here. The season opens with Cynthia Bailey dressed as Porsha. She comes in this dark room and we all thought it was Porsha based on her hairstyle and everything. We should have known it ain't enough junk in that trunk to be Porsha, but we weren't focused on that necessarily. Cynthia got junk in her trunk. So, they bamboozled us. They gave us a little sneak preview of what's to come this season. And yeah, that's where we started at. So I love me some Cynthia Bailey. I'm glad she's here. Um, I'm glad that she recognizes my nose is itching. I'm glad she recognizes that this is her era to be a friend of. It's a lot less stressful. She could carry her Jamaican man or whatever. I don't know, Haitian man with the dreads. She could carry him around on the phone and she don't actually have to allow these ladies into her business. She can just come over here and ask them about their business. And that's probably what you're going to get from Cynthia Bailey. So, yeah, the show opens, after all the formalities. The Oakleys are back. I enjoy the Oakleys. I find Charles to be entertaining. He's not my husband, so I kind of don't care. Even his wife came over here. They're out there grilling. We're grilling at the Oakleys. And Angela lets us know straight out the gate. Charles is a troll. Charles is a troll. He be trolling. I don't think he be trolling necessarily. I think she would like to think that. I think he's not a troll. Um, I think he's definitely a jokester, but I think some of the stuff he be saying, he's not kidding. He's Charles Oakley, and you could take him however you want to take him, but he gonna be who he gonna be. And he's Angela's husband, and they're stronger than ever. And I hate it when they say that. When these women come over here and say, our marriage is stronger than ever, I believe that's a myth all across the board. I believe you have good times and you have bad times. They say it like we're stronger than ever, as if everything that has happened in your marriage leading up to now, this is your strongest point in your marriage. Just say, we good right now. As the marriages go, me and Charles are in a good place. Say that. But that whole we're stronger than ever. Who are you trying to convince, Angela? So where do we start with Angela? She has to clear things up, about Charles out here in these streets. I guess he decided to do a podcast at which they asked him, what made him get married. And he says somehow somebody must have drugged him in order for him to make that decision. Is that him trolling? Yeah, I feel like it is. Like, I think he knows nobody drugged him. He thinks he thought he was being funny, but it's never funny when it's at the expense of your wife. And I feel like Angela ends up being the butt of his jokes, Or Angela tries too hard to prove to us that Charles is different than what he thinks, what, we see. And if he's a crotchety old man, you know what I'm saying, then let him be that. Don't try to fix it. You could call him an asshole if you want to, but don't like try to pretend like there's something other than what's going on over here. He married you. Y'all be wanting to be matrimony to each other. And when I say y'all, I mean y'all, because that's not what I want. Matrimony. I feel like I say that every time I come over here. But, just for those of you who ain't never been here before, please know and understand matrimony is not on my list of things to do. However, this is what Angela wanted, and she wanted to be matrimony to Charles Oakley. So this is the things that she's going to have to deal with. And I hate that she came over here and that's where she started. And I like these two. You know what I'm saying? Out of everybody over here, I really like these two. But I hate that she came over here trying to dispel whatever happened over there, because we all looking at it like, Charles, you're an asshole. Don't say that, because that makes, hurt your wife's feelings. That's where we at with it. We didn't need you to come clear that up. Charles, I don't know what he's saying that for. He was the one that planned the whole wedding. Nowhere ever, anywhere. Maybe some places, but for the most part, men don't even be wanting to do that. They'd be like, how much is it? Here's your budget. Go ahead and do whatever you want. I don't care. I'll show up with my friends in my tux. That's about where they're at with it. Every now and then, you'll get a somebody who wants to be having their input. No bride ever really wants your input. So it's much better to have a husband that knows how to shut up and go get a tux. And, you don't have to prove anything because he married you. And I feel like I'm not a member of the Charles Doesn't Like Angela Club. I think he likes her. I think he loves her. She's his wife. I just think he says stupid shit. He doesn't think about her feelings. And these things are really important to her. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a wife that wants to banter back and forth with him necessarily. I'm sure she does to some extent, but I feel like she's always over here trying to prove that Charles wanted to marry her. He did want to marry you because he did marry you. And if he didn't want to marry you, you wouldn't be his wife. So there's that. She says she's not chasing down any more rumors. I hope not. I hope this is the last rumor you chase down. Except the one about, if he's messing with the candy lady down the street. If that's the case, Angela, I want you to go ahead and investigate that one. But the rest of that stuff, people are going to talk. They damn sure don't want to see you happy a lot of the time. Some people do. And the people that want to see you happy are the people that you need to spend your time with. And marriages, relationships, all across the board, they're going to have some ups and they're going to have some downs. It's just a matter of whether you still want to choose each other at the other side. So yeah, better than ever, I guess, girl. Then she asked the man to perform PDA and he doesn't like it. Like he doesn't do good at that. She stands up and she's like, come on, give me some love. And he feels awkward out the blue. And I probably would too. I don't know. I guess if it's not something natural and you got cameras and things, around, it might make things feel a little awkward, but yeah, that's where we started. Charles and Angela. She's not chasing rumors, and I hope the hell she's not for real. Who else? Porsha. Porsha made the K Michelle introduction. So K Michelle is over at somebody's photo shoot. She said she's what did she say? She said she's shooting pictures for her country record. The world knows her. Her name is Kimberly. The world knows her as K Michelle, and her family and her country music world know her as Puddin'. Don't be Puddin'. I don't like that idea. Just be K Michelle. Beyonce didn't go over to the country records music and change her name. Just be K Michelle. We're not calling you Puddin'. For us, you're K Michelle. And I'm ready for her to just sing the damn country song, for God's sakes. I feel like I've been hearing about a country song for a very long time, girl. Put it on YouTube or something. Just put it out there so we can hear it. Spotify, wherever y'all are doing it. I don't know how record labels work, but I know that right now artists can do what they want without these people in the business. She's married. She's married to her long-term dentist boyfriend, and she married him 2 weeks before the show started. Now, I just heard her on Jason Lee doing an interview with Jason Lee, said she was dating some basketball coach that used to play for the Grizzlies. And she doesn't want to say who it is, but she's saying a whole lot. So it will be investigated. But she brought this man over here to be her partner. And I guess he got a little too, struck by the fame and the excitement of being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He thought he was going to be the star of the show, or however it went. But after that, she went and hurry up and married this man that she's here now with. So, and even without that story, I feel like everybody was like, "That's fishy. Why is she bringing some dude over here that we didn't, ask for?" I have seen her with this man a lot. Um, Again, K Michelle, nobody else is over here married, so I don't know why she felt like she needed to get a husband, but I think she's been looking for a husband for a very long time. And this man was over here playing in her face, but now that he gets this big old stage to be on, all of a sudden he wants to be matrimony. So Kate is she's never had a good picker when it comes to relationships. I did not watch Queen's Court because I don't like Evelyn Lozada. No, who is it? Lisa Ray, whoever else they had over there. I wasn't interested. Anyway, I'm indifferent about K Michelle, to be honest. I watched her on Love and Hip Hop back in the day. I don't watch it anymore, but back when I was watching Love and Hip Hop, I think she's entertaining. I don't know who did her work, child, but it was some good work. All the titties are tittying. That's what they do over here in Atlanta. So everybody's titties is gonna be up and stuck. Yeah, I'm not. She looks great. I'm glad she took out whatever it is she took out. She seems like she's a very little person. I'm glad these girls are backing out of these Brazilian butt lifts and all the things that they were doing. But yeah, so that's what she's doing. She's got some baggage from Love and Hip Hop. When she was over here on Love and Hip Hop, she felt like the Mean Girls like left her feeling angry. And I want her to leave them behind. And if you go separate yourself, separate yourself. Don't talk about Love and Hip Hop anymore. And I don't know why there's such a distinction, to be honest, because I don't feel, I don't feel like it's that much different. You know what I'm saying? It's a different show, it's a different network, but Love and Hip Hop gonna give you a hell of a walk up now. When they come up, their slow motion walk ups be the business. So yeah, I don't think, it is what it is. It was part of your past, and it's a successful show that went on for years. I feel like I heard that they're canceling it, but we won't know until we know. Um, and a lot of people have come through Love and Hip Hop. Cardi B and K Michelle are two that stick out to me that have turned their Love and Hip Hop run into success. Kay is a successful music artist, and so hopefully we'll see a little bit of that. She had her own reality show, so we know she's spicy, and yeah, I guess we'll see what she's going. She's gonna be pretending because they're all pretending. Now, is she bringing a little bit of her real life? Kay Michelle, when I was watching this interview, and it was only a clip from Jason Lee. I'll go watch it later. But I feel like she's very real. Like she just tell it. She running her mouth. This is what it is, girl. So I feel like you are probably going to get a genuine season out of K Michelle. I don't really feel like her doing too much faking. Even with the guy that she married, like she says she's known him since ninth grade. So this isn't somebody who's just come in her life. He's somebody she's been spinning the block back and forth, holding her up. And so, if marriage is what she wanted out of this man, congratulations, she got it. But she was actually she said she left him. She went on Queen's Court to teach him like other men want her. And then she had this other man that she was over here, that we're finding out about over here on Jason Lee's channel. So we'll see. I don't know, I don't know what type of man he is, so I can't say that he's a good guy or not a good guy, but I don't know how healthy, the flags are flagging. It's a lot of red flags over here with K Michelle and her longtime boyfriend, Dennis' husband. They had Porsha give this little spiel about, Black people in country music. And I was like, I wish they would have just let K Michelle tell that. because Porsha don't know the history on anything, not even, the history of her damn family in the Underground Railroad. I don't need to go to Porsha for that type of information. Remember she was over there, Black Lives Matter, being an activist. I hate when people do that. So do you listen to country music, Porsha? Because she over here reading her script, and I didn't think she did a great job. They should next time when it comes to the country music conversation, just let K Michelle do it. Because Porsha, child, I am not a Porsha fan. It's hard not to be blinded by her beauty because she's a beautiful woman, but I'm not a Porsha fan. After I seen how she was over there, on her own show, it changed my mind a lot about Porsha. So I don't have any high expectations of her. Bravo loves her. I guess they're blinded by her beauty because they keep letting her come over here and do ridiculous stuff. But here we are. Porsha couldn't film in her house last season because her and her ex-husband Simon Gubadia was going through things, in terms of divorces and finalizing that. She said her divorce is final. We are all glad about that. I don't care about Simon. We didn't want her with him in the first place, and I don't know if she got this house out of it. She says she over there paying the bills, so she gonna keep the house. If she can afford it, then I don't see why she wouldn't. It's a beautiful home. Anyway, she's having a dinner party at her house, that she wasn't able to showcase before. Shamia. Kelly and Shamia are BFFs. I find it strange that Shamia always needs somebody to be a BFF. I guess these two, they some 40 some year old women over here hunching on each other, and there's a lot of squealing, and Kelly is loud, Shamia is loud. They both do too much. They're both just way over the top. Shamia thinks she's a comedian, except she's not funny. And I don't know what Kelly thinks she is. Shamia's BFF. She chose her side and she chose Shamia. And I feel like because they're so corny, they probably do get along well. They've done things outside of hips. They've traveled together. They have fun hanging out with each other. And it seems as though Shamia can't function in life unless she's got a BFF. And I don't think it's her husband. I think her husband provided her. What did Jennifer Lopez say? Her love don't cost a thing. My love don't cost a thing. Yeah, that's what it's giving over there. She over there in that big ass house with them children by her damn self. And Gerald comes through occasionally with not a very, fun personality. It's so wild. Like, is she like that? I wonder. I would love to see that, but her husband don't want to film. But I would love to see that, just regular, like them just in the house, regular, having regular conversations. Because I mean, she's always so on 10, 20. Can I just say Shamia's body? Whoo! Her and Porsha, I don't know where they went to go do the thing. Shamia, you were talking all last season about getting pregnant and trying to go through this process. And did you get your body all tucked up like that just to stretch it back out again? I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the plan. Anyway, Kelly's daughter is going off to college. That's exciting. It's always fun, fun. And I haven't been through that particular situation, but, I've watched my kids go off and, be grown and out on their own. She's going to Spelman, and I mean, best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? You could be away from home, but your laundry is, your mama is around the corner, so you could just bring your stuff home. I don't know if she's around the corner, but she's in Atlanta, so she could go home and wash and, eat real food and stuff. Then go back to the dorm and act like, turn up. Shamia, speaking of turn up, is providing her with a care basket, and she's putting alcohol in there. And I'm pretty sure providing alcohol for minors is illegal. But, hey, that's what she's doing over here. There's other things, condoms and things. I get the condoms. I think the condoms are a good gift. She got pregnancy tests and plan Bs and things. I mean, I guess, girl. I guess, girl. I did like the condom idea. The champagne, girl. You should have did that like in the privacy of, but nobody's coming over here after you. Shamia went to Grenada. I guess, she's doing business out of Grenada, and she says she has a rum company. And I like that idea. I think, she be always drinking and she be talking about shot o'clock. And I think a lot of these celebrities do well when they have alcohol companies. And I also feel like if you're in a position to have that much wealth, from your husband, you'd be a fool not to get out here and get something started just in case things don't, ask Candy and you have your own businesses to maintain the lifestyle that you have become accustomed to. Shout out to Mama Joyce. Um, yeah, Kelly and Shamia, they just be doing a lot of screaming and dancing, and I guess that's what BFFs do. Um, Shamia and Portia are still beefing. She said after the reunion, she had a chance to think about some of the things that were said over there. So she texted Portia and they had an exchange, between the two of them that was unpleasant, I'm guessing. Um, Shamia does that thing that she does. Her confessionals are always cringy. So she did a lot of this stuff, it was very silly. I don't know what she thought she was supposed to be giving, but you know, like I said, her confessionals are cringy, and her and Portia are on the outs. However, Portia did invite her to the dinner party. Portia said she didn't want to be like singling nobody out. We just getting started over here. There's no point in doing things that way. So yeah, she went ahead and invited Shamia to the dinner party. So Shamia's confused. She's like, "It's a group chat. Do I go or not go?" You're going. It's the first episode. And the first episode, last year it was Shamia's party. This year Portia got her house, so we're having a party at her house. She's having a dinner party called the Majestic Island. She didn't know what that means, and I don't know what it means either. Can we talk about some of these confessional looks? Kelly look a fool. I don't know what she's doing. Zsa Zsa Gabor and all, purple feathers. Shamia gave 15 different confessional looks, and I didn't really like any of them. So I picked the most normal out of the three. Listen, there will be many confessional looks along the way, so we just don't catch them while we catch them. I love what K Michelle has on. I just love that. So I had to like give you a full body shot of it. Portia ain't showed up really yet with no wild confessionals. This out of the two, this was better than the other one. The other one looked like, chopsticks in her hair and a bun on top. Drew, it was cute. It was a cute little situation. Drew, she definitely comes to act. Drew doesn't come with any type of real anything. So whenever she has tears or happiness, I don't know if it's for real or not. So Drew, I take her with a grain of salt that she's given. Phaedra, I don't Phaedra. So, she has a couple different blonde wigs. This isn't my favorite. I actually like the other one better, but this picture came out nice. Angela's giving Angela. And, I'm sure we'll be serving up, her own, delicious confessionals. I like usually the way Angela comes. She's put together. She's a well put together woman. So, yeah, and then there's Pinky. Pinky is a new addition to the RHOA family. I did see a clip of her talking about bankruptcy, so I'm glad that they put that in because that's all that we know about her. So if we're gonna like get this bankruptcy story and have her not clear things up, but watch her however she's chosen to deal with it, then I'm cool with that because it's not a made up thing, it's a real thing. So Pinky, I'm not sure about her style, girl. Her style is a little bit different. Um, So we at this party, we just they spent most of the episode at this party over at Portia's house. I don't know why y'all keep calling this Simon's house. Y'all are like Portia's having a party at Simon's house, and it's not Simon's house. It's Portia's house. So she could do whatever she want to do over there and bring a man, woman, whatever she feel. The street said, and we've seen across the course of the last few months that she's got a variety of things that she's bringing up and through there. So we're gonna take it one step at a time and watch Portia pretend and play house over here. Everything over here at Portia's house will be a fairy tale made up in her head. played out over here on Bravo. And we know we're not going to look at it as reality because this is not a reality show. This is a performance of several women that live in Atlanta. Phaedra arrived. She's got that same boy, so she's being consistent. The same boy, that she had over there on um, Married to Medicine. But I don't blame Phaedra. I'm not a Phaedra girl, but he's tall, he's good looking, and he's young, and I don't know whether he's breaking her back out or not, but whatever he's doing, he's a good date to bring to parties around people that you don't really want to know your real business. Drew, last season, they accused Drew of being in a relationship with this dude, Black. And he's just my friend, and we're just working together, and they'll say that. And Dennis was like, I thought she was messing with that dude. And no, 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 I have a man under the stairs who she claims is still under the stairs. So I don't know if Drew and Ralph is divorced or not divorced, but in this moment, he's still under her stairs. So I do know they were going back and forth to court, and I think the court told him he got to get out finally. So I guess, we'll get to that when she gets to that. But she walking around with Black on FaceTime. Now she's dating him. And I'm not mad at her for not, copping to it, honestly, with what she was going on, what she had going on before. Child, I got a flash, so don't mind my fan. I think it's corny, though, her walking him around the dinner party the whole entire time. They said the man was on the FaceTime for 3 hours. Why would he do that? That's so corny. But, Drew is corny. So for y'all's Drew fans, I don't feel no ways about Drew. I don't, she's kind of like Porsha. They be doing pretend things, but Drew is an actress and she's always acting. And I'm not going to discount her for that because all of these people are over here acting. Shamia be bad acting. Shamia is a terrible actress. I think she should just focus on the rum, girl. Her and Porsha are not BFFs anymore. She's got a new BFF, and I guess we'll see what happens with that. Her and Kelly will be hunching on each other. Can't wait to see it. Anyway, K. Michelle gets there with her husband. Yeah, we already talked about that. I guess I gave it all up in the first part. K. Michelle's with her husband, who she married 2 weeks ago, so she will parade him around. It's like K. Michelle wants to be a proper lady. She's giving that southern, that southern belle that Phaedra never was able to give. Ooh, anyway, Porsha introduces us to Mike from Ready to Love. This is my only problem with this. Mike from Ready to Love is an actor. And so is all these other people. So I'm not going to hold him for that. He's fine. So I can't imagine why Porsha wouldn't want to be kicking it with him. But I wish she would have just said, this is my new friend. We just, start seeing each other. We don't have no history. We about to see if we're going to make history. And I could have got down with that. But her and him with no story about how they met each other, like you was just going to walk in there and say, what? He said he got introduced to her by God. That sounds stupid, Mike. He fine though, y'all. Let me stop. Anyway, yeah, I wish she would have just done that. I wish she just would have said, yeah, we met online. I sent him a thirst trap. He responded. We decided to start kicking it because she did say that. She said she sent a thirst trap and she knew it was going to work. So why didn't she just say that, And here we are at my dinner party. Ciao. I really like the look she had, child. The black dress, the body is body. Her Porsha is gorgeous. The little black bob, she was giving look. If y'all gonna bring her over here for that, and honestly, let's just watch her date. I'm not mad at it. I just don't want it to be like pretend things. But Mike, you got beat out by some, very strong armed girls. So, this is what I also think. I'm not in that man's pockets. I don't know what he have. I don't know. I'm not sure that he has the kind of coin that it would take to, secure a woman like Porsha. So I do think, if you just want to bang around a little bit, bounce around a little bit, he, definitely wouldn't be, anybody I would be turning down for, an evening out or a tune up or whatever it is you need, in your life. But as far as, serious, like a relationship, I'm not sure his coins is tall enough. And I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know this man. Um, Kelly arrives at the dinner party with some dude named Trey. Now, Kelly, we don't know Trey, but I feel like Trey is not like Mike. Like he's not really, in my opinion. The K Michelle said he's like be out in the streets and everybody know Trey. I thought Trey was not that attractive, to be honest. And so, if you're gonna be bringing somebody around, do better next time, Kelly. Wasting our time with Trey. We don't even want to get to know him. And by the time she got there, everybody was seated. She was probably on the phone with her friend Shamia, who was not there either. Shamia comes in. She just been here one season and she already, ushering people in. And Shamia is ushering in Pinky. So Pinky came through with her resume. She's been on this magazine, Forbes magazine, Essence magazine. She gave us all her magazine covers that she's been on. And yeah, she says she's that girl. So I guess I don't know which girl she is. She's not that girl that comes with the fashions. I don't know what Pinky be wearing, but it's to be determined later. Just like her tacky friend, Shamia. I don't know what the hell. Shamia is a perfect example of money can't buy your class. Yeah, that's Shamia. I'm not saying she's not classy, but I'm saying she's kind of tacky. She's kind of not very classy either, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, they over at Shamia's house. They are clearly in no rush to get over to Porsha's party. They in the house having shots, pretending that Shamia is waiting on her husband to come. And Shamia, that man wasn't coming when you told him about it. He said he'd let you know. And you sitting up here talking about you got an outfit for y'all to look. Gerald ain't coming. Which is kind of, to me, ridiculous, Gerald. If Charles Oakley could come over there, you could bring your ass over there too. Todd used to come over there. Like the people's husbands be coming. Nobody asking you to do anything. All you had to do was come over there, sit at the table, refuse to answer the ridiculous questions that Porsha was asking, and then go smoke cigars with the guys. It's not that serious. Jeez, oh Pete. It's kind of sad because this is your second season, Shamia, and again, your man ain't. We've seen him on the phone acting ridiculous, but all we've seen you hunching on is Porsha, some jib jab man over in Ghana, and now clips of you and Kelly hunching. We ain't seen you hunch your man, and I don't need to see it. I'm just saying, can he show up to a dinner party? All the husbands do it. Good grief. They finally get to the party. Shamia and Porsha are cordial to each other. They have a little, one of them fake Hollywood hugs. Because Shamia's like, I haven't talked to her. The last time I've talked to her, we were, beefing over text message. So, Porsha gave her a hug, welcomed her in. Shabia looked cute. I wasn't mad at the mohawk, and I hate a mohawk, but I wasn't mad at it. The dress was dressing. I mean, her and Porsha standing next to each other looked amazing. And she said she wanted everybody dressed in black. Everybody was dressed in black except for K. Michelle and Charles Oakley. She had on a green chartreuse green suit, and he had a bright powder blue suit. Pinky walks in. Kelly has a issue with Pinky. Pinky, she called her or text her, and Pinky left her on red. These are restaurant business people, so I don't know what the issue is. Kelly is kind of loud, and Pinky is kind of a lot, so maybe they just don't click. We don't know, but Kelly is coming out the gate giving Pinky the I called you, I texted you, you didn't answer me back, and we've sat on panels together. They love to say that. Wasn't Karen over there sitting on panels with Wendy, and Pinky is like, I don't know her. So she know K. Michelle though. Her and K. Michelle are cool. They are sorority sisters together. She said her partner, one of her business partner, was a line sister for K. Michelle. So they, they cool. Phaedra came over here. She's done business with some of her associates. That don't make you legitimate dealing with people that deal with the Godfather of Atlanta. I don't know, Pinky. But yeah, so she's well known in the city. Pinky is. We just now getting to know her. We straight into her bankruptcy. Of course, we have to play a stupid dinner table game. I hate dinner table games. And Portia's asking people directly the questions. It's not like just up questions. Charles Oakley and Angela Oakley, who made the first move in the bedroom? Not Charles. Angela said if you don't, he didn't make no moves on her that night. She went in the car with somebody and he went home. And she was like, "You wanted me to come up to your room." And he was like, "No, I didn't." So that's what I'm talking about. I feel like Angie, Angela got in somebody's car and Charles Oakley got in somebody's car. And, he's an NBA player that gets a lot of ass, has probably over the years. And probably when he met her, it wasn't 10 years ago. So he wasn't like in his like heyday. You know what I'm saying? It was probably more at the end of his heyday. But, yeah, you shouldn't have said that. You should have just let it be what it is. It is not that serious. I don't think that's necessarily like an insult for a man to have, engage with you. You could assume he wanted to take you to Angela. Just let it be. She want to sit up here and be like, "You did want me to come up to your room." No, I didn't. So you setting yourself up for embarrassment. Anyway. Drew and Shamia have a little tiff. Drew's like, "Where's Gerald? Where's your husband?" And she was like, "The same place your person is, on the phone, girl. Focus on your Zoom call." So they have this back and forth thing. Y'all want to disrupt the table. Shamia, all you had to say was traveling. Like, really, honestly, you started with being pressed. You could have just shut her down by just saying he's traveling. Next question. Focus on your Zoom call, because she look a fool with this man sitting up here on the phone for the whole dinner party. So are you talking to the people? Are you engaging? You're including your little friend? That makes him just as goofy as you are, if you ask me. How bad does he want to be on TV that he's got to be on the what was Mia's little boyfriend on the Apple box? I forget what his name is. That's what Black remind me of. Mia from Potomac. What was her little? Was he the Ace? Was he Ace? What was his name? Anyway, the men and women separate. So the men are probably like, "Thank God," because they can get away from this lady drama. So the ladies sit around exactly the same way they did at Shamia's house. I was like, "Is this a recreation? Why are we doing this?" Who was it? Cynthia asked Shamia, like, "How are you and Porsha?" And Portia's like, "I'm good. Like, I feel like we left in a good place, I guess, with the, cuss out text." But, she says she's good. And Kelly asked, "Is this a new leaf for you guys?" And they both claim to be in a good place. They not gonna go at it right now. I think, Shamia, even though Kelly is her new BFF for life, she's never letting her go. And she wanted her to be a sister wife. And Gerald said no. That's the kind of stuff Shamia be saying. Shamia's a little gay. And, apparently Portia's a lot of gay. And Kelly just may or may not be. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that's how these ladies get down over here. Yeah, they said they on good terms, so they're not trying to have that conversation right now. And Cynthia asked, "Well, Shamia, how are you?" And Drew was like, I'm here." And Shamia's over there. They're not good at all. They hate each other. I feel like Shamia hates Drew more than Drew hates Shamia. I don't really feel like Drew thinks about Shamia like that, but she really don't like Drew, especially after that album did so well and nobody's talking about Shamia's album. But Drew, I want you to stop acting like, K Michelle is, not worthy, because girl, you are not K Michelle. You had a good record, but you are not K Michelle. So you can stop that. Porsha was like, "Well, she did apologize on YouTube." And they showed clips from Shamia doing that stupid ass apology. "If I hurt you," Drew is down there impersonating her. "I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings." But then, Drew was like, "Yeah," but then she said, she went light on me and she could have went harder if she wanted to. So they started back and forth. and then, Shamia deflects, and then she brings up how Drew was over at the reunion telling Phaedra that she did not believe her friend Angela's receipts. And so she said she would like to be friends with Phaedra. And I was like, okay, so we'll just change the subject then. And Drew says she had already discussed that with Angela. So, however, you're going to try to make that a thing, it's not going to be a thing. Angela said, I don't care about that. Which, what's her name? Shami was like, why don't you care about that? She's like, I don't care about that. What I do care about is, Phaedra's friend did come up to me at the basketball game. She approached me, you know what I'm saying? And I guess, basically was telling her she got them hands that she could catch this fade. And Phaedra says, that is not true. That is a lie. I had those tapes pulled and they, clarified and confirmed that this person did not walk up to you. That did not happen. And they're like, you had the footage pulled from the basketball? That sounds so crazy. Why would they be even paying attention? What footage? Then she's in her confessional because they're like, well, we want to see this footage. We'll put a pin in it until we see, what was what. And she's in her confessional. They must have asked her, like, so you have the footage? And she's like, no, I never saw the footage, but I did ask them to have it pulled. So they pulled it and told you what? That you didn't see some lady talking to another lady? They know who you referring to? Phaedra? Day one, we already lying, but that's y'all's girl, because I could do without Phaedra on a regular basis. She does not have to, y'all brought her here. For what? I don't know. She had the confessionals telling stupid jokes that ain't funny. She don't really have any except for her handsome son. Oh my God, these kids is growing up so fast, already going to the prom and things. Ugh. Anyway, they over there going back and forth. And Miss K. Michelle is a fragile lady. She cannot be in the midst of all of this fighting back and forth. So she goes out there with the men because they're calm. So she wanted to go by the men because they're calm. When she left, Kelly asked Porsha, about the text messages that took place between her and Shamia. And Porsha was like, them text messages are between me and Shamia. I will not be having that discussion here with you. So she shut that down. They start getting up to go see what was going on with K. Michelle. Like the conversation kind of deaded at that point, and everybody's standing around. And Mike takes the opportunity to thank everyone for coming over to Porsha's house. And everybody is basically laughing because we're like, who is this man? And why is they're calling it Simon's house. Why is he directing? Shamia, I think it was, that said they were sitting at that table together looking a fool. I didn't think they looked a fool at the head of the table. I mean, because that's her person. Everybody was paired up. You're the one that didn't have a pair because your pair said he wasn't going. So yeah, that was the first episode, y'all. It was entertaining. And like I said, I'm gonna just look at these this season as that. I'm not gonna really expect too many real things to happen over here. If they surprise me, they surprise me. I'm looking forward to seeing where K. Michelle's story is gonna go, how it's gonna play out, and Pinky, of course, because we seeing all the things play out, with her in the courts, and she got her house back. They took her house away. Like, I want to know if the cameras went back up right quick so we can cover any of that. In the meantime, that's all I got, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's your girl, Just Rhonda, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.